once again, this time my friends for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found, I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Good Monday evening to all of our Southern Fried Podcast fans and all of the people out there at Cornbread Nation. You know, we love some breadheads. David, you've got Elvis behind you. I see him.
I do. I do have Elvis behind me.
That's awesome, dude. I'm not going to put Elvis behind me, but you know. That's awesome. That's a you thing. That's thumbs up. I like it. That is an outstanding expression of Jay's personality.
No, that's not really true. Although I do like Elvis, that's not really why it's there.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking it was the king. You're kind of the king. I just, well, we're kind of co-king. We're
king of failure. I'm the king of failure.
You're not that king of failure.
No, I do like Elvis. I grew up with Elvis, but that picture belonged to my mom, and she was a huge Elvis fan. So I'm honoring my mom and the music of Elvis at the same time. So,
yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, it's like I keep mom's pepper sauce back here on the shelf there and stuff like that. I still keep my mom honored and keep her close, and that's it's important to do that, especially those of us that lost them, and that's always hard.
So. Absolutely, my mom was a big Elvis fan. She loved music, gave me a love of music. Was just amazing about music, and what she liked a lot of different styles of music, and she gave me a great love of music. This picture was actually had been gone for a while. We just recently found it, and so I decided to put it up as something in the background, and so got it all cleaned up. It'd been in storage, got it out, and of course, I believe that's from the Aloha show, 1973. I believe that was 72, 73, which my mom let me stay up late. I think it might have been on school night, and she let me stay up late to watch it with her.
Well, I got something I want to share with
my dad. I don't think my dad really cared for it. He didn't really care for Elvis, but my mom said he's staying up. She put her foot down.
I got something I want to share with you tonight. This is old newspaper clipping. It got dropped in the water on my Uncle Bob's boat, but he managed to save it. It's still, you can still read it. You can't make it out as clear. I don't know. Can you see that?
Kind of, sort of. I do see. I see some. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's the newspaper article from when my dad got his Purple Heart and Bronze Star.
Okay, cool.
And I'm going to be doing a Veteran of the Week on him this week for everybody. And I want to hammer home the veteran suicide. That's how I ended up losing him. And, I want to hammer that home to everybody. And yeah, this time of year, we start reflecting and start thinking a lot more, and things come to the surface, and sometimes it's a hard time of year. So
it can be.
This is my first year without my grandmother at Christmas, and my mom's been gone for a while. My dad's been gone for a while, but still that all kind of, and grandma being gone, grandpa and everybody, it just kind of didn't feel like Christmas so much this year. Of course, I've had some personal stuff going on. That may have something to do with it too.
Could be.
And I want to tell you and everybody else out there who's been remembering me in their prayers, I really do appreciate it. It's been a struggle this year, as far as this season, and I appreciate the prayers and the help, and I appreciate it.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. And, we pray for everybody else, and a lot of times we overlook ourselves in that. But, this guy over here, he's pretty good about not letting you do that.
I try.
He's pretty good fellow. I pick on him a lot, y'all, and I do. Of course, he picks back some, too. Now, don't get me wrong. We pick on each other a lot. But a lot of brotherly love right there. So, we've known each other for a long time, and yeah, it's amazing how well you can get to know somebody over the years, and know where you can walk right up to the line and step on the line and kick a little dirt over the line maybe, but we do have fun with each other, and I don't think there's anything we could really say that would upset each other.
Unless I called you fat.
And then call me fat, I'll kick your butt off of here.
Well, you deserve it. You called me the incredible bulk this morning. So
okay, so we can call each other fat.
I do have out there. I clipped some of the segments from this morning's show, and one of them that clipped was the hog jowl. So I've put that out there on the internet for all that may not have seen the whole live show to see what they think about hog jowl. So yeah, we shall see.
I had some today too, fried up nice and crispy.
Oh, I showed Lynn that she saw that video. It was on a reel, and I left my phone laying on the couch. I was cleaning, and it was like playing on a loop, and she's like. She was getting a kick out of that. Welcome all on Instagram in here. We had a discombobulated entry, and that's my fault. We're doing work on the new studio, and they were needing to cut the power for a second. I wasn't thinking about internet getting cut. I'm like, yeah, I'll be in the dark for a minute, but it'll be okay. I have battery power, but I was not thinking about the internet. So Kick is okay. I was just checking the streams and all, making sure that everything looked good.
See, Dave throws those streams up there, and I can do it, but I miss some. So some of them I don't have access to. So when I try to load them up down here, it's kind of a discombobulation. So I could have started up, but then we would have missed some streams, and we want to get out there to everybody. And that's the whole thing.
We're on 8 total streams, which is what we're allowed, which one of those is a double because it's the Instagram, which obviously they're coming in, and we appreciate them. There's several in there. Thank you for listening on and watching on Instagram. But I do know if I seem busy, I'm just going through and checking the others real quick and making sure they're okay. So,
okay. Well,
but I do have a theme. I do have a theme tonight that I want to talk about. I think it was a continuation. We can just chat about whatever, and then when everybody gets in here, I want to talk about foods that are okay or that people like or don't like on New Year's Day. I thought Twitch is okay.
I kind of got a theme for Mama Said tonight, if you're interested in that one. And something I'd like for us to talk about, but people are starting to pile in. I want to talk about just how stubborn moms can be. And I have several stories to share about my stubborn mother. But I want to share that out there and let's see who else has a stubborn or had a stubborn or has a stubborn mother. And that's that's a big thing. And I think stubborn moms are very important, actually. Because they have the tenacity to hang on and still try to hammer some values and manners and responsibility in their children, even though the children are fighting back. But they're so stubborn, they'll just hang right in there. You know, I think there's a lot of value to that. Boy, that's good coffee. I needed some coffee tonight.
Okay, looks like YouTube is okay. I got one more to check. We did get a couple follows. My granddaughters was riding down the road, so we take her to her friend's house, and she said, "Papa, do you want me to follow you your podcast on TikTok?" I said, "Absolutely." I didn't even know she had it. So she said, found it, got that. I said, "Do you have YouTube?" She said, "Yep." "You want me to follow it?" "Yep." So we got YouTube. She was already following us on Facebook main page, but I believe she gave us a follow on the Cornbread Nation.
Amen, brother.
Man, I am excited about the Cornbread Nation show and logos and all, man.
Yes. There's Brother Hester piling up in here. How you doing tonight, Bubba? Hey, we're up 306 on Facebook. That's nice. But from where we started out, I remember how excited we were when we got to 25 followers, and we got to 50, and we got to 100, then we got to 500, and we hit our first 1,000. Man, we about went through the roof when we got 1,000 followers. And then we got it moved on up from there, and it just kept going through the roof. And we were like, hey, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Well, that big news this morning of us breaking the 20,000 follower mark is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And continue to grow. We have moved past that and are continuing to grow. Lots of follows today across all streams, and we can't thank everybody enough. Please forward it out. It does help. And never think that those things don't mean a lot, because they do. So appreciate that.
Yes. Sorry, I'm sending out a little message there to my brother there. But yeah, so now our goal, we got 20,000 before the first of the year. Now our goal is 50,000 before we get back around to Memorial Day, which is in May. So we want to more than double up in this last 5 months. So, and we are going to need help with that one, because that's a big jump, and we know we can count on folks to help us with that, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Well, Brother Hester, I'm going to do a little bit for Mama said before we go into some of the other stuff here. And I fully want your comments on this. About the value of a stubborn mother, or a mother's stubbornness. And by that, I don't mean, well, I'm going to do everything myself and I'm going to do it my way and da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, like, well, you might be a little pain in my butt, but I'm going to teach you right from wrong. And if I have to beat you half to death, because I'm winning this fight, and you're going to learn some manners, you're going to learn how to behave, you're going to learn how to treat people, you're going to learn how to be respectful, and the whole 9 yards. And, you can fight Mama on a lot of stuff, but some stuff you can't fight Mama on, because Mama will light you up. So, yeah, let's throw in a comment or two there, see what you think. Anybody else out there, too, y'all feel free to comment. We'd love to have them. And let's celebrate our stubborn mothers. I'm sure there's a few of them. Oh, be back later. Okay. Well, Bubba, you get to feeling better, and we'll catch you here on the next time, or when you get back. Love you, brother. Chuckers is mad at me now. He just came in here and put his feet up here, and I didn't pick him up. He's mad now.
He'll be attacking you before long.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, but he ain't getting the Christmas tree no more. That guy was getting to be one of his things. If I didn't pay enough attention to him, he'd run there and attack the Christmas tree, because he knew he'd get my attention.
Oh yeah.
Then you go and chase him, and he runs away from you with that little tail sticking straight up in there. He knows it's a game.
So it's not like Allen Iverson. It's not practice, man. It's a game. It's not
That's
practice.
right. It's a game. That's all it is.
It's a game.
It's a game. It's a game. And he loves playing his games. So, and he's a rotten animal. All right. Well, we got any Instagram comments coming in? Ain't nobody firing nothing off. Brother Hester isn't feeling all that well. Michael not feeling well.
They just listening right now.
Oh, okay. Well, all streams are okay. Good. Well, if you're done with that, then Dave, let me ask you this question. In what ways was your mom stubborn?
Well, she was Irish, so it could be in every way. But
That's not very nice.
well, I mean,
You just hurt a bunch of Irish people's feelings.
I'd be Irish too, part Irish. My mom's married name was Kelly, and so she was, she could be pretty stubborn. But I mean, most of the time, my mom was easygoing, went along to get along. It was just about, certain things, I guess. I don't even know. I mean, my sisters probably could comment better on that. I'm sure they saw it a little bit more. I mean, I know I saw it, but she wasn't a, and when it came to her kids, I mean, but there were certain things she wanted. She might be stubborn, but most of the time she was just kind of going along with the flow, and was just one of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and liked to laugh and have a good time. So she wasn't what I would say is one of those Yosemite Sam, kick your boots down in the sand, be that stubborn. So she just wasn't that way. Her sister was probably more stubborn than that, but I mean, I know there was some things she was stubborn about, but it just was nothing that was prominent out front. Her personality was she was just a joy. She was like I said, she loved to sing and dance and have a good time and laugh, and it was great growing up. Had a great mom, great to grow up, and under her tutelage and love, and like I said, there were, if she really got on something that she really felt passionate about, yeah, she could dig her heels in and be stubborn about it, but it would have to be something that she felt very, very strongly about that wasn't going the way she wanted. We kind of all have that. Me and my sisters, we all have. My dad was much more stubborn. Mama could be on certain things, but Mama gave us a lot of us, or really all of us, we like to get along, and so we have this great fault that we have to overcome sometimes, and that is that we will allow ourselves to be pushed over to just get along, and that's something I've had to work on over the years. I mean, I can make a stand. I've had to with raising a granddaughter, but it's just something that we don't like conflict. We hate it. I despise conflict, and so my mom was much the same way, and so we go out of our way to avoid conflict. I guess that's what made me a good pastor. I don't like conflict. I don't like. I don't like. Got a Amber Alert going off up here.
Oh,
but yeah, she was. She, I just again, it just wasn't anything that was out front. It wasn't prominent. It was not her. It was not her MO, except about certain things. So it is what it is. But she wasn't that way. She was. I've known people that were now on my dad's side, and him and I mean my grandmother and my aunts and stuff. They could be much more stubborn than my mom. It was kind of a Cordell trait. But no, with my mom, it just really. I mean, it just it was just certain things. She was a great listener. That's where I get some of my listening skills when I just listen. And when people say they can talk to me and stuff, I mean, my father-in-law said my mom had one of the greatest phone voices he'd ever heard, just to talk to her on the phone the few times that he did. He said, "Your mom," he said, she should be in telemarketing. She has such a great phone voice, you know. But she was, I miss her, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was more stubborn than she was about things. She, like I said, if Tammy or Heather was on here, they could talk about some things she was stubborn about. But I right now, as I sit here, nothing really stands out to me about her being over the top stubborn.
My mother was very particular. She wanted things done a certain way. If they weren't done the way she wanted it to be done, she'd get upset, you know, and then you'd hear about it. But you know what? I'd give anything to have her back just to do it the way she wanted it done, so I didn't have to hear about it.
Yeah.
You know, but something you said a while ago, you know, about not liking conflict. And I think a lot of people, down to most people, say a lot of them, don't like conflict. So we kind of go around the edge to avoid it. And we give up a lot of ourselves to avoid it. And I really feel like, you know, I'm not going to go into any big details or anything like that, but I feel like that's where I've been for a while. And giving away everything of myself to make somebody else happy that wasn't going to be happy anyway. And that's hard. And it's hard to lose yourself in that. And yeah, come on here, you be happy. We do our thing and this is our world, you know. But outside of here, you know, it was, let's just say I appreciate the prayers.
Amen.
My mother would dig her heels in. When you talk about Yosemite Sam, my mom was the female version of Yosemite Sam. Thank you there, Michael. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry about that too. But my mom was the female version of Yosemite Sam. Oh my goodness. She would knuckle in. You don't want to help me? I'll do it myself. I'll little red hen this thing. Don't you worry about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she could be. I mean, stubborn.
Now my wife is not listening. I do not think right now, but my wife is much more stubborn than my mom ever was about
Not
certain
Lynn.
things.
I know you're not talking about sweet Lynn like that.
Yeah, she can be extremely stubborn
No.
about certain things. She can dig her heels in.
No, not sweet Lynn. I'm just not going to buy it. No, no, sir. No, sir. She's way too sweet to be that stubborn. Shame on you.
But I can too. I mean, it just depends on the issue, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think we need to mention our guy we've been talking about yesterday and this morning. Probably I'll do another prayer here in a little bit, but with loss of Jimmy Carter, that is truly. I've been thinking about that today, a lot, and he was mainly known for his failed presidency. Well, I can't really say failed for being on as not so great of a president, but I'm gonna tell you something. He was a heck of a man. All right, and his manhood was, and being a man was defined by a lot more things than just being president.
Absolutely.
Being a Christian, seeking peace, reaching out to other nations, and actually making some accords where almost nobody else ever even made a dent. You got to respect him and you got to love him. And I'm glad that we've had him. I'm glad he was our president, and I'm glad that that enabled him to reach out even further with his ambassadorships and such as that. And as much good as he accomplished with that, you can't define him by presidency.
Well, yeah, no, you can't as a man. I would think, there's, and I didn't want to go deep dive today because it was announced, in the last 24 hours of what happened. But, uh, and it is very hard to negotiate, to navigate, it's a better word, foreign policy. Um, some would say maybe he got pushed around a little bit by them because they used that against him.
Yeah.
Kind of just what we talked about, how we go along to get along. We try to find peace. There are times when you need to have that guy, that
Mhm.
part of you that says, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And negotiations are not working. And I'm all for negotiation, but it's at some point, negotiations may not be getting you anywhere. And you have to go to the next DEFCON level, not meaning the actual nuclear, but I
Well,
mean,
it was like
in
Reagan.
negotiation.
Let's use Reagan and Gaddafi as an example there. It went to a point and then it stopped and it wouldn't go any further.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I just think you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know that he did the late in the game rescue mission, which failed miserably. Unfortunately, American soldiers, died. I don't know that he could get there. He even at the very end, he was negotiating, and he believed those negotiations is what won them out. I'm not saying it didn't have an effect. I think the incoming president, Ronald Reagan, had a lot to do with that because I think he will, although he was very much a man of peace and wanted to do be agreeable. He also knew that peace through strength. You hear a lot of that today. And it's kind of like you negotiate with your neighbor. If you just keep giving up your rights to your neighbor who says, I'll quit aiming my shotgun at you if you do this. And if you do this, you do this. At some point you have to stand up. My daddy always said it like this. You have to he said, don't start a fight. Walk away from a fight if you can. But when
if
you
have
can't,
to fight,
you fight with
finish.
everything you've got.
Yes.
Pretty much our dad said that. And there were a couple of times in my school life where I had to do that. Negotiation didn't work. I tried and tried to walk away from those things, and finally I was just confronted with it. And so I was at that point where it was like, I'm ready. Your move.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And one backed off, one fought, and so you have to do that. So it's, and nobody wants war. I mean, he had statements about war, that there was no good war, and and nobody wants to see the body bags piling up and everything. It's horrible. But you can't let the evil of the world run you over, or you don't have a country.
And Michael, I feel like you're right in that comment, but at the same point in time, as an ambassador, he did make that work and work pretty well. I think he was a really good ambassador, and he did a lot of negotiations that that I don't think some other people out there could have done. I just think
if he had won a second term, I think he would have had to deal with. Yes, he made the peace agreement with Egypt, but the evil people killed their leader because of it. So would that? I don't know. I don't know what would have happened if he had remained.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. It would be a guessing game. But
I'm glad we got the one in after him that we got. He was the one we needed.
I am too.
And I think
Reagan had his slip ups too with Iran Contra, and the second term, and second terms are hard.
Oh yeah.
And I do want to say it's a little bit different this time with President elect Donald J. Trump. But traditionally, second terms are not great.
Yeah, but this is like first term.
The difference is that there was another one in between, but a lot of second terms for Democrats and Republicans, sometimes doesn't go well. I think it's it's just human, the human equation. They may make bad decisions, and certainly they do. They may make good decisions, but I think it's like we see, and I'll make an analogy with college football. Everybody, or even a quarterback, everybody's always ready for the next guy. They're ready to throw that guy or that person, woman, whatever, away and say they're out, bring in the next guy or the next girl. And
Yeah.
in the presidential world, the second term is, they're thinking I don't have to run again, but the party still has to try to stay in power, and so they do have to worry with that. And there is that consideration, but this is a difference because we had a gap of time. You think about it, you've had a 4 years with a guy, or maybe in the future a lady.
Yeah.
At fifth and sixth, seventh year, people are getting weary. They get weary. The same messaging, the same phrases. And that can just wear. I think it was. And if I'm wrong, I'll back up. But I think it was the company DuPont. And I don't know if they still do this, but I know at one point they moved all of their executives around every 5 years, every 4 to 5 years, with that same ideology that you needed something new, that had gotten too comfortable, that maybe in this situation that person had given all the best ideas they had in that few years, and we're not getting rid of them. They're going to go somewhere else, and it's a new start for them as well. And some people like that, some people don't. But I think that's that same thing. It's like after so long, it's like, I don't know. There's a lot to be said on both sides of that. And I think he was unfortunate that he came in a time when the Arabs really wanted to put us over the barrel, so to speak, and the terrorists were, the PLO. The PLO was doing lots of things. Iran was flexing their muscles.
Yes.
That was the 70s was the age of the hijacked jetliners, if you remember.
Yeah,
and
sure was.
It was a lot of bad stuff going on, and it was a hard thing. And then if nobody's going to be happy with you when you're having to sit in line and ration of gas and the gas prices are high. Nobody's going to be happy.
And see, I still remember my mom complaining about gas getting to $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
Oh, if she'd only known.
Well, back in those days, someone working in a mill was in the South was probably only bringing home about $75 a week.
Yeah.
After taxes.
Yeah.
I think that's about what my dad, mid-70s, somewhere around that, somewhere around that 71, 75, somewhere, depending on maybe a little more sometimes, some overtime, but that's kind of where it was. And you think about it, water bills were, I don't know, $3 or $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Lot bills were cheap.
That $75 went a lot further than it went now.
Well, I can remember my dad blew a gasket one time because my mom spent $25 at the grocery store on groceries. I can still remember him saying, "We're not the Rockefellers. We can't afford $25 for groceries."
You crazy?
The age-old battle.
And another thing, Mama was always stubborn about to me was, no matter what your grievances were, family is family. You treat family, you can be upset with them, but she put her foot down. I mean, you're going to spend time with them. You're going to love them. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I mean, she insisted on keeping the family core and no division in the family if possible. You might not agree on politics. That don't matter. Don't talk about it. You might not agree on issues. Fine. Don't talk about it. There were many times that I started to voice my opinion. She'd reach over and grab my knee and give it a good old squeeze and look at me and go, "Hush." And we need more of that.
My mom was loved everybody and taught us to love everybody no matter what they were. I don't remember my mom ever being in politics at all. It just wasn't her thing. She loved music. She loved movies. She loved soaps. She loved Andy Griffith Show. She liked to go hit the roads. My mom loved to hit the road, and we would go do cheap, free things. We go to the lake. We go window shop. We would go, have a cheap hamburger, which you really could get cheap back then. We would just go hang out. Mom liked to be on the go. And so I don't remember her take it. It was an age of innocence for me in a lot of ways. Although I did watch politics with my dad, I stayed outside all the time. I was, you had to beat me to get me in the house. So it was a great childhood. The only thing that caused the problems was my mom and dad divorced, and things turned sour. Around the time I was about 14, 15 years old, those 2 years were full of stress and until they separated. And, those are hard years, but those first, 13, 14 years were absolutely golden. They were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's, I'm sure, was sheltering me a lot. Mom was mostly a stay-at-home mom, and she didn't, she only worked here and there. She never was really someone who worked a lot. And, it was just a great time, and like I said, a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. My dad was, he could laugh and cut up and everything, but sometimes he would be, a curmudgeon. We would go into a bedroom, her and her sister and me and my cousin, and the girls weren't born yet, and we would just have fun, and we would just cut up and be goofy, and it was just a great time. And I'm thankful for that. So if there was any stubbornness, it was the fact of defending or shielding her child and later children from those things. I just, I knew this. I knew because I watched the news. It was really it's interesting dynamic. I had this great childhood where, it was like, playing outside, making up games. You're walking barefoot and playing sports and making, just having a ball. At the same time, I was sitting and watch, Vietnam reports on my dad. It was an interesting dynamic, and I think it's a lot of why I'm here. It's a lot of why I'm actually in a podcast is because my dad, he didn't push it, but I wanted to have that, I was sitting with my dad. Well, he was interested in something I was interested in because he was my dad, and he was, he was my hero. And so when my dad would watch, he watched the local and then the nightly news. And that nightly news I thought it was fascinating. The Vietnam War reports that came back, the Watergate. I watched all that stuff, the hearings, the things about pricing and fuel. And so I was keeping up with all that. I didn't understand. I was a little kid, but I remember seeing that. So mom never got into that. I don't remember her ever making comments about it. She may have. I don't remember it. It was always my dad, my dad telling Walter Cronkite to shut up or something. He got mad at him for something he said, or, calling him a communist or something. He'd get mad at something he said, but mom was never like that. So it was just a great, we weren't poor, although some people might have thought we was rich in spirit. We had everything. I had everything I needed. Dad worked 2 jobs. He worked hard. There was always food on the table and clothes on my back, but we were no frills. We had it's kind of funny. We talked about Kaylee, but my dad's treat of the week was every Friday night we went to McDonald's. That was his thing. It's the only time we ever ate out that I can remember, except for a few rare occasions. Dad loved to go and sit at McDonald's on a Friday night after working all week. And that was a big thrill for a little kid, man.
Oh yeah. I remember getting the little cheap toys and the Happy Meals and stuff like that. Those were awesome, but moms did a lot to hold us together, they really did. And a lot of it was just through sheer tenacity. So thank you, moms, for your tenacity and your stubbornness. We appreciate it. And we love you for it. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here. And so bear with me. I'm getting a little bit, let's kick me down for a minute.
All right. You got it. We need to run a quick commercial anyway. We're coming up on almost our first hour, and we do want to make sure we hit our our ads, and we'll start out with Dubby, and we'll try to hit all of our friends as well. We appreciate all of those folks, and want to hit Mammoth, and thankful for what they do every day to make America better. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, Dave in the AM here with the Southern Fried Podcast and the Cornbread Nation. For many weeks now, me and Rob have been telling you about our affiliation with Dubby Energy Drinks. I've been drinking some of them on the show, and I just got in today the powder version, and this is the Pond Blom version of this. And hey, I tell you that it gives you the focus and the energy without the jitters or the crash. There's no sugars, no fillers, no artificial dyes. So get you some Dubby today. Use the promo code Southern Fried, and you'll get 10% off each and every order. Not only can you get the energy drinks, but you can also get some cool merch items. In fact, soon we're going to have a hat to show you as an example of some of those things. There's shirts and other things you can get as well as containers to mix up the powder and the water into that you can carry with you. We appreciate your support of the Southern Fried Podcast and also of Dubby Energy Drinks. We'll see you again soon. Take care. This is Robin Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. One of our shows that we love the most is Front Porch Talking. Our Friday night show, which starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, has become a tradition here at the Southern Fried. We appreciate you so much for stopping by on the front porch where we grab our sweet tea or coffee or whatever we're drinking and just sit on the front porch, wave at the neighbors as they go by, and just have a great discussion. We usually don't have a topic or theme. We just like to talk, and we like for you to stop by on the front porch as well. It's a Southern tradition, and Rob and Dave, we're all about the South. We live here in the state of Georgia, and all through the South or throughout wherever you live in the United States or the world, remember, as Rob says, it's a Southern state of mind. Join us each Friday night at 8 p.m. with our friends. Become part of that Cornbread Nation Breadhead crew, and join us on the front porch, and let's talk. Thank you so much. All right, folks, Mammoth Nation, and boy, I've really enjoyed the vendors I've become connected to through them. I'm a lifetime member. The opportunity afforded itself for me to do that. They cut it in half from $250 to $125, and I knew that Mammoth Nation was going to be one of those things. It was going to be a long-term partnership with us here at the Southern Fried and them. Plus, I wanted to be, I was going to be purchasing things, and I've bought a few things. One thing from each vendor, and I'm still looking at the last two here. But this week we have Fish or Die Bait Company, and this is just a small selection of some of the things they have. So basically, you become a monthly supporter at $5 or $10 a month, or you become that lifetime member. When you go through the Mammoth Nation webpage, then you go into the vendor portal, and you get these instant discounts, and so you're really getting all that money back. The more you shop, the more you save. And I can say that because I am a Mammoth Nation lifetime member, and I'm a buyer through some of these companies. There are pages after pages, and they're adding more all the time. We will never be able to spotlight them all, but I just pick and choose different kinds that I feel like that our community would really like. And so I've been pulling those each week, and it's a joy to do so. And what I really like about Mammoth Nation is their America First attitude. Their videos are amazing. They really are. They're hitting on all the concepts that we hear on Southern Fried. We talk all the things that we talk about with America First and American Pride, and I love that about them. And they put it out there. They don't pull any punches. They say it straight out. And I want to support something like that. So, whether it ever benefits us or not, that's okay. If you use that promo or that QR code and or like I said with Dubby, or use that Southern Fried as that, whatever happens for us, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But I like the companies that we're working with, And I really appreciate Mammoth Nation for what the stand they're taking. It's not a popular stand in these days and times for companies with all the woke and DEI things that are going on, and companies are afraid to make a stand. Mammoth Nation is not. They have guts, and it's working because Americans are flocking to what they offer. They're just amazing. And I can't say enough. Again, this is not about us trying to sell you anything. Whether you ever use that QR code or not, it doesn't matter to me on that level. If you use it, fine, that's great. But it is some deals for you. But support a company that is America first. That's the main thing I want to say. I'll sell my soapbox a little bit. And there are so many companies that have sold us out. They've sold us down the road. And this is one that's not. And I want to support them. I was talking to, let me just say this and we'll get back to the live. But I went into a restaurant today that's been in town for a long time. Haven't been there in a while. And I took some of the cards that I had and I offered him one. And I said, hey, if you ever want some advertising on our podcast, let me know. He wasn't the owner. I thought he was. He saw, let the owner know. I said, listen, it's free. We don't charge for it. We just like to help small business. It got his attention. He let me lay some cards on the cash register there by where the other business cards were. And I said, hey, listen, we're in this thing together. Small business, it's a fight. And I said, anything, you got specials or anything coming up, or you just need some pub, you let us know. The Southern Fried's here for you. And I know Rob would feel the same way about this. Yeah. We were helping Rob companies down in your area, you know, and you saw the commercial out there. Some of you did. And we'll be doing more of that. And we stand on that. So just appreciate Mammoth Nation so very much. And by the way, I don't mind saying where I was at. It was the Old South restaurant. Rob, I'm sure you're very familiar there in Rossville. Had a great breakfast. The service was great. And by the way, there's a picture. Man, I meant to already have it up. It's been a busy afternoon with a lot of going on. I'm going to try to get this picture pulled up into the stream here in a few minutes. And I told him, I said, I love that. It's not a picture. I said, I love that sign. I took a picture of the sign and it fits the Southern Fried really well. So I'll try to get that up in a couple of minutes, Rob. But welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being here. I know you're busy, even though people are off for work. Maybe some people are working. I got a lot going on. Everybody does. And I'm trying to get into a new studio. It's coming along. We're trying to get things loaded up and out. And I'm excited. 20,000 followers and growing. And I do want to say, the last thing I want to say, Rob, is this video we put out about, and I told you this sometime today, about the lady on one of the streams said, I think I saw a ghost. And I never noticed it, but if you go back and look at the video, in the very beginning of the video, there's something that moves down under that, along the water line there. Now, what it is, I can't say. It does look white a little bit. I don't know, Rob. I'm not saying it is. I ain't saying it ain't, but let the legend grow.
Hey, but, we hunters. We had to find what we was hunting for. Just throwing it out there. Saying.
We will say, though, along with that, things happened. And you've seen video 1, part 1, and the Rob's hat was found without Rob. Part 2 was the prequel. The prequel where we were out there that morning where you saw that, and I've never even noticed it. Maybe we should have looked closer. Part 3 is going to be coming out late tonight. It'll be rolling through the night. You do not want to miss this. I know you're night owls out there. It'll be on all the streams here in a little while. I got to wait till I get off the stream, but I'm going to start pushing part 3, Rob.
And why don't we wait and release that one this weekend? Let's wait a little later. Let's wait a little later in the week. We're not trying to put all in suspense, but let's wait till Wednesday.
It's interesting, and there is a part 4 that will be coming as well. So I've been getting a lot of questions about this from people, friends of mine, people I don't even know, about what in the world happened at Watts Creek Bridge. So obviously you're here, but there were things that happened, and we're examining those and putting the information out.
And Madison at ARA, we owe you a lot for this one because you're the one that put us on to it. And so We got some other places down here we need to go too. But Madison, let's think about you, sweetheart. Just saying. So
Yeah,
Madison
she
ARA,
she
you know,
she
huh?
came in that night and really let us out, gave us the full lowdown
Yeah,
about the she
you know.
the bridge. She wouldn't drive across it at night, and we mentioned her in the prequel video. We mentioned her that morning when we were out there. We released that second because of what happened that night. And then I said, we got to go back and show how nice it was. It was a nice day. I didn't notice the movement in the water. I didn't. I'll be honest. When we were there, I was watching big trucks coming through with heavy farm equipment across that bridge at 65 and 70 miles an hour. And I'm telling you, I thought the water looked a little bit better. I was willing to jump over at a couple of points because them old boys was rolling through, Rob.
They was moving on. They was
I'm like,
moving on.
dude.
Uh, you know, they just, uh, I had something I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it now because
Uh-oh.
it just gets on my nerves. What is it? Lemon, Don Lemon, or whatever. I can't stand him. You know, and I can't stand all these Democrats. Why? They keep hollering and trying to shovel down our throats because we voted for Trump. Well, you got that MAGA mindset, and you're evil, and you're dumb, and you're stupid. You're in a cult, and all this stuff here. You know what? We're not in the woke cult. That's for sure. And that is a cult. You know, do what I say, or else I'm going to cancel you, or this and that. Come on, I've had enough.
I
I'm
guess.
tired of being called women.
Hey, Miss Elizabeth, how you doing? Good to see you in here
Hey, Miss
tonight.
Elizabeth.
I guess part of my concern is that I know the nation is going to do a great job with the honoring of a legacy of a president who has now passed. But in the back of my mind, it's like you got to have eyes in the back of your head. What do you feel like they might try to maneuver some stuff while this is going on? Well, just today they said they're going to send some more billions over to the little dictator over there in Ukraine. He gets another 2.5 billion, I'm hearing. Are you kidding me? This is the time you announce it? Today of all days? Come on.
Yeah.
Man, talking about making somebody mad.
Okay. And here's something else that made me mad. Oh, senile Joe there up there talking about what lessons could Donald Trump learn from Jimmy Carter? He said decency. How decent is it for you to go and release death row inmates or commute their sentence to life in prison and get no justice from the people mass murders and everything else? Come on. The families were just thrown out. That nobody cares about them. Well, let's take care of these prisoners. My aching butt. How decent is that? How decent is that for the families that you just threw that up in their face?
Yeah.
Come on, man. There y'all gonna get me on a soapbox. And I just took my emergency stuff for seizures. So I'll be ready to here in about now. So, I'm just saying, what a knucklehead. His last name, are you sure his last name's Biden and not Waltz? Maybe it's Tim Biden. I don't know, or Joe Waltz or whatever. Come on. I will say it back in Trump's first presidency, someone needs to take his phone away. He tweets way too much. And I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Well, someone needs to take his pen away because he is signing way too much stuff right now. He don't know what it is. He ain't got a clue. He's senile, over the edge, old timers, whatever it is he's suffering from, and they're just shoving stuff in front of him, and he's just signing away.
Yeah.
I know, Miss Lou, but it's hard sometimes.
It's called passion.
Passion, and emergency stuff. So, decency. This is from guy who sniffs the hair of little girls and stuff going around talking about decency. Come on, man. Sorry. I'm going to let him go on. He's going to fade away into nothing. Someone was trying to say that his presidency would be remembered in greatness.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Miss Elizabeth, that's the problem. They're already kicking in. This is one of those quick acting things, okay? It goes up the nose and it's quick acting. So it's already kicking in. It's here. Sorry.
Hey, I got to take a quick break, Rob. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right, man.
Okay.
Take care. I'll be right back.
See you in a minute. So, yeah. Long story short, there's medication you can take when you have seizures that goes up the nose, and it's very fast acting, and it's supposed to calm you down. It has the reverse effect on me. It kind of winds me up, especially if I don't go lay down when I take it. And I didn't feel like laying down, so I didn't. So I am large and in charge right now. And Dave's not here. We can do whatever we want to do. Let's see here. What do we want to do tonight? I don't know if I've shared this with y'all here lately. Dave has got a right good laugh out of this, if I can find the picture. I uploaded it. I don't know if it's still on here or not. But Chuckers was really voicing his opinion at me the other day. No, we've taken it down, apparently. I wonder if I still got that. But yeah, he was just gnawing on me. He was real bad about getting up in my lap anyway while I'm podcasting, while we're on here talking and going on. And he got to chewing and chewing and chewing. And I was like, come on, guy, you need to stop. And chewing and chewing. Come on, guy, you need to stop. And next thing I know, he just hauls off and just bit the absolute snot out of me. And he had to go away then. He's a little snothead. I think I might have used another name for him. I don't remember. Oh, I took it down. But I actually got a picture of him chewing on my finger. He's a little snot. But he found it real easy, which is impressive because, he's only got one eye. Let's talk about uppity. All right, I said I really wasn't going to talk about it. I am going to talk about Don Lemon. I don't like Don Lemon. Let me go on record. I don't like you. I don't like what you say about people. I don't like that in your self-righteousness, you feel like you need to dictate to everybody else in the world what they should think and what they should do. Let's see here. You just hit 10. Oh, congratulations, sir. Steve, congratulations. Absolutely. You're 10K on X. Man, you're rocking on. I'm glad to hear that, dude. We got to get our X's stroking on pretty good, too. That's awesome, dude. But you hang on a minute because I'm fixing to get on my soapbox. You're right good. You and Miss Elizabeth. I was telling Miss Elizabeth right there above you about you earlier today. Yeah. But anyway, Lemon has gone off. Don Lemon has on all the MAGA people. Never mind the fact that more than half the people of the country supported Donald Trump in the presidency. Oh, you might. This knucklehead, called all the people that voted for Trump, the supporters of President-elect Donald Trump, dumb effing idiots, and mocked their stupid MAGA brain. And that was on the Don Lemon show. You're so effing stupid and you deserve it. You effing deserve it because you're so dumb. Yes, I am gloating over your stupidity. You've been co-opted because you're in an effing cult. And you don't even realize it because you have a stupid MAGA brain and you don't get it. How stupid and dumb are you? Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk about how stupid and dumb you are there, Mr. Lemon. Uh, Lemon head. Your head is shaped like a lemon, by the way. Uh, you've got a good name. Uh, at least, we can think for ourselves. And at least, the very least, we're not into this woke minded mentality that absolutely is a cult. All right. It's, at least we know which restrooms to use. At least we know, at least we've got a little bit of common sense. I mean, you got fired from CNN for saying less stuff than this. The CNN even didn't want to hear what you had to say. Oh my gosh. And then you're going to come spout out a bunch of garbage like this? Have you lost your mind? No, we already know the answer to that. So, I mean, frankly, you're old news. And frankly, you're irrelevant. You are now irrelevant completely and totally. Much success on your show, though. I'm sure that people that feel the way that you are will continue to watch it. But you know what? I never have. Sorry I had to see your comments because you, sir, are an idiot. Sorry, Dave. I'm getting off my soapbox now. I said we could do whatever we wanted to while you were gone. So I'm gonna we went back to talk about Don Lemon for just a little bit.
All I know is I come in and you called somebody idiot, and I seen that Celtic Blacksmith was in here, and I thought, my gosh, did
Steve call him fat?
Yeah, what happened? You, sir, are an idiot. Congratulations on your 10,000, Steve. We just crossed over 60.
Brag on, brother. We love
Absolutely. X does not do the best in allowing you to, after a certain point, they try to lock you down a little bit. You got to fight for your right. We're getting there, brother.
He didn't tell me whatever.
No,
in all fairness, he just had to step away for a minute, and I was like, "Oh, goody."
No, a little family emergency I had to take care of real quick, and I was like, "I'm on the air," and they're like, "We need your help." And I come back, and I knew when I left, Rob was like on DEF CON. The DEF CONs have been rising, but like I got to step away. I'm sorry. The wife had called, and she said, "I need you now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I better go."
Ooh.
And I get back, and the first thing I see is Robert saying, "You, sir, are an idiot." I thought, it's either me or Steve or the little green Martian man.
No, it was for Lemonhead himself. Have you ever noticed, though, his head is shaped like a lemon?
I thought maybe somebody come in the stream and you banned them.
Nah, nobody's called me fat tonight. I'm all right, except for you, and that's okay. You missed it. You missed it this morning, Steve. I called him the Incredible Bulk.
Oh, he was not nice. He tried to get me to eat hog jowl, and he was trying to tell me it was the same as bacon. I was like, come on, man.
It's better than bacon. It's better. It's good for you.
The only positive thing about that whole portion of the episode was that it came from the Piggly Wiggly. That's it.
His goal was to reach 10K by inauguration day. Yes, you made it.
Way to go. By the way, I am one of those followers. I followed you.
I am too.
Just a 3 days ago on X, I think it was. So, yeah.
I think I followed you on Facebook.
I did Facebook as well.
Well, it's calling him the Incredible. I said if you were a superhero, you'd be the Incredible Bulk.
I know, Michael. He's got to get these things right. Yeah, I mean, people are not happy, about some of those things. One of you was lurking in a space I was talking in a couple nights ago. Lurking. Are we lurkers? Are we lurking?
You're a lurker, Dave.
Lurker.
You're a lurker. Lurking.
Well,
Well,
when you go into a space or a room or whatever it is, there's different rules for different shows, and some shows get really creeped out if you don't say something. Other shows could care less. I mean, they just don't care if you say anything or not. I've been in a show where before, as I was typing in "Hello, fellas," they were already calling me out saying, "If you don't say something in 2 seconds, Southern Fried, you are gone." And by the time they got to gone, they went, "Oh, I see your comment. Hey, brother, you're okay." Bunch of truck drivers, man, they don't play.
no.
But I've been in streams where people were talking about, I know they were doing their laundry and talking to other people, and they looked down and said, "SFP, oh, Southern Fried, hey, how you doing?" And they didn't care. So it really mattered. It was,
doing their laundry.
I've
Really?
been in spaces where they were seriously hundreds of people. But yes, Steve, It was me. I don't lurk. I just didn't say nothing. I really, and that was me. Thank you for saying. And actually, I really, as a podcaster, I was actually working too, so I wouldn't actively get into a stream because I was working, but I could listen. And I really just wanted to not talk and just, some of the things weren't for me, but there was a lot of discussion that was. The only thing that I felt asked to come in and comment on was the Roman Empire, believe it or not. I thought that one of the things about the fall of the Roman Empire was left out. And that's the only thing. Then I thought, they really don't care what I got to say. I mean, just leave it alone. Who cares? Just be quiet and lurk.
I still think the Romans kind of sort of brought out their own demise by training the barbarian hordes to how to fight, because they were using the different ones to fight against the other barbarian horde or barbarians or whatever. And then they taught them how to fight, and they learned it very well.
One of the problems the Romans had is that, and I'm not saying it's a problem, but for their massive empire, is they gave their slaves a path to freedom, to citizenship and all that. And they by the droves, they were accomplishing that. And if you're not conquering new nations and getting new slaves, they didn't want to do all that grunt work. So.
No.
So anyway,
well, hey, Steve, if your buddies want us to send an invite to us at any time, tell them to come on, send it. We'll pop in and check it out. I'm going to be pretty much freed up a lot for a while. So I'm going to have lots of time to be on here and go around and explore. So
I was on, and I wasn't, it actually popped up, surprisingly, I guess, because we're connected. It popped up on my feed, and I said, "Oh, I thought it was your feed." But I did know of the one guy that came in there, the one that, goes in and does the thing. I've heard about him, but I was working till midnight. I got home about 12:30-ish. I'd probably cut out about then. So I didn't know exactly what time y'all left. When I left, Rob, I just got to say, where I left at, this was the conversation.
Okay.
Some place that was a combination, if I remember right, steakhouse and strip club. And I said, okay, I think I'm going to go into bed. That's where I left.
Dude, that's probably the right place for you to leave, I would say. I'm just saying. Well, I was talking to Miss Lou. When I go outside, it's scary for me to go outside because I keep lining up stuff for me to do outside. Well, go out toward the garden, and I have to get out and walk. Oh, gosh, I need to get this thing tilled up and ready to go. Or, oh, my gosh, I probably need to cut some of those limbs down so I can get sun on the garden. Oh, my gosh, look over there. I probably need to go and cut all that brush down so I can see the creek better. And I'm like, oh, I got to just stay inside. I can't go outside because I keep finding projects.
That went down a road. I thought, well, I better get out of here. So to each his own. I thought I better move on. I did it. There was a lot of talk. Some of the stuff I don't. I don't keep up with as far as some of the movies and stuff they were talking about, but I did. There was a lot of really good information on some things that I really, found interesting. So, I was just killing time. What was that? Clint Black, he had that song, right? Killing Time, wasn't that it?
Yeah. Well, I remember
I was working, but just occupy my time.
Yeah. Well, I remember way back in the day, me fresh out of the service. I was working for a survey crew. I won't call the name, but we wound up in Macon, Georgia, and this was way back in. Dave, they didn't even have 75 3-lane past Tifton. I mean, they were still putting it in from above Cordele on down into Tifton and up around Macon. They were still working on it, and so we were going out. We were slope staking the road, and we decided to stop for lunch. And it was 3 young bugs. And we stopped in for lunch at this place. And I'm not going to call the name of the place. It's a place that I shouldn't have been in. Looking back, I know that. And I knew it then, but you know what? Satan just got his hooks in me, and I went in there anyway. And basically, you could have a burger and a show. And yes, it was definitely R-rated. And yeah, so you've got the steakhouse strip club story, and I've got a darn good burger house strip club story. Yeah. So I'm just saying, not judging, things happen.
Anyway, it was interesting conversation. I got tickled at the guy calling out the lack of a better word, airhead employee, and called their name out. It just cracked me up. Normally we'd say, well, we'll change the names, but he just threw it out there. I thought it was funny. But anyway, I was in and out. I was not always listening, but I kept it there. I figured I'd give them some time in their.
Yeah, I don't really remember, Steve. I remember it was big, and it was, it was. I think I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it had fries with it, but I'm not sure. It was very expensive.
Well, places like that it's not meant to be on the bargain train.
I think it was very expensive because I had to use a lot of ones. What? What do you think I remember? Oh, this ought to be interesting. Well, this is Steve. Steve, never mind. Never mind. Don't answer that question. Don't. We're just gonna let that go.
You've been dancing on the edge. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just gonna see, if
I'm probably gonna have to get off here, dude, because I am very much. I don't do well with that stuff, and I get amped up, and glassy eyed and everything else, which is what it's supposed to do. And I'm getting very nervous, and I'm probably going to need to get off of here.
Well, give me your pick about the Georgia game before you get too nervous and out of here.
Georgia Notre Dame, Georgia by 17.
Okay.
A lot of that's going to depend on. Yeah, thank you, sir. A lot of it's going to depend on Gunnar Stockton. This is what it comes down to. And Mike Bobo. If Mike Bobo can design or keep the offense where it can focus and let Gunnar Stockton be Gunnar Stockton. We don't need Gunnar Stockton to try to be Carson Beck. We don't need Gunnar Stockton to try to be Mike Bobo. We need Gunnar Stockton to be Gunnar Stockton. And we need Mike Bobo to build the plays around Gunnar Stockton. If he does that, if Gunnar Stockton goes along and plays as Gunnar Stockton is what he's capable of, it'll be Georgia by 17. If not, Notre Dame could win this, but I'm picking Georgia by 17. They've had plenty of time. They've had some time to prepare for this.
Okay.
And they won't drop as many passes from Gunnar Stockton because he throws a dab blame rifle. It's like firing a bullet at somebody. They'll have to catch it out of self-defense. It's like somebody drawing a bead on you with a cannon. They're gonna have to catch it, or else.
Well, the fact he can move around, I think, is good. He's already built a rapport up with one of the receivers pretty good. And, they keep him kind of ready. They give him time with the first teamers and all that. So, and Beck did declare for the NFL draft. To wish him well. He still has all the ability that he had, and things just didn't happen this year that he wanted, but he has that ability and he has the skill level, and I wish him well. And if you're a gunslinger, even though he didn't not going to get drafted where he wanted, he's still going to get drafted.
Yeah.
And
Miss Elizabeth, Georgia, red and black. Notre Dame is what? Hot pink and lavender. Dave.
Are you saying that was
Notre Dame's colors, hot pink and lavender?
That's breaking news because I don't recall seeing that. Is that hot news out of Notre Dame? Because I don't quite remember that being the case. But
what was it, like blue and gold or something? I don't remember. I think hot pink would be better, huh? Oh, wait, Notre Dame. I was thinking Tennessee. Sorry. Miss Elizabeth, who's your favorite team out there in college ball? We know Steve's is Ohio. I bet. Seems like
I don't think he even cares. He don't follow football.
Yeah, he doesn't follow football. He likes golf.
Yeah, with a flamethrower. He's like golf, Call of Duty style. I mean, the dude coming across the links, torching people. That would be his idea of a game of golf.
He'd get out there in golf buggy. Yes. Chicago Bears, Cubs, and Bulls.
Oh, let's see. Sucks now. They used to be champions. Sorry. The Bears.
Hey, be nice. There's only so many teams as Yankees can root for now. Come on. Who can't get behind the Bears? I mean, come on.
You're probably right, Michael. They probably will let Notre Dame score, and then they'll have to go into 27,000 overtimes.
Are you a Gators fan? Oh. But I got to jump back up here to Steve real quick. I'm going to come back to this Gators thing. But I got to jump back up here to Steve here for just a minute, okay? Who can't get behind the Bears? Remember, they even had the song, back when we were in high school, refrigerator, Perry. Come on. One of the funniest things that I ever heard. What was it? No, it wasn't refrigerator. It was somebody else. It was one of the Georgia running backs. Oh, my gosh. Who was it that had that you've got a running back named so-and-so. Why are you throwing the ball when you got 2 yards to score? And they were just getting all over them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember who that was. But, yeah, Cubs, as Braves fans, we're morally obligated to not like the Cubs. I'm sorry. We don't like the Cubs. That's not going to happen.
Although absolutely loved listening to Harry Carey try to pronounce the names after he got slobbered by the seventh inning. Harry Carey, Lord bless him, rest in peace. By the seventh inning, he could barely sit up in the radio announcer chair. He was extremely inebriated, and his voice would start slowly. Sammy Sosa is at the back.
Steve. Oh, gosh. Okay, back to this Gators comment. I think that's a gator. I'm not sure though. It might be David. I'm not sure that's a gator.
I,
It
I,
might be.
it
I
might
don't
be.
know. I don't know. It kind of looks like that old coon dog up there in Tennessee got some green dye or something. Like it's a leprechaun smoky or something. I can't really tell. Miss Elizabeth, is that a gator?
She's gonna make
Or
you
you a
wonder.
Florida Gators fan? At least it's a SEC team. I'll give her that. Okay. We're not mocking you. Everybody's opinions on here are. We may not agree with your opinions. However, you know, we will not mock you personally. You know, we will.
Oh,
Uh, but
crocodile, but
not.
not.
Well, who's the crocodiles?
Elton John. He sung Crocodile Rock.
It was just going through my head. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
It's a
It's
gator. Ding, 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 ding.
a gator. So you're a Gators fan. Oh my god, that's okay. It's okay. At least she's not a Tennessee fan. You know, and I know it's hard for women folk to be a Tennessee fan because that color orange is not in anybody's color wheel. I'm sorry.
As some friends that we all know, or at least me and you know, I remember their oldest daughter. You know, just a little kid in school. They wear colors. They had Orange Day. They sent a note that said, "My child cannot wear orange as we do not own any clothing that is orange, and I do not want my child to be penalized with this. We are Georgia Bulldog fans."
Oh my gosh!
And so she wore something, some
Georgia
other color.
Bulldog shirt, I'm sure.
I'm sure it was.
I would have.
That's what happens on Sand Mountain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I still remember when she about kicked a friend of ours out of the house for wearing a Tennessee. She wasn't gonna let him in because he had on a Tennessee shirt. Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's amazing.
Fired up. Fired up.
Oh.
We had a lot of fun.
Well, Miss Elizabeth, you can't just hang that out there. Yes, keep us posted, sir.
You've got my interest peaked now.
Yeah.
And I'm curious.
Yeah.
The podcast. See, what can we call that? It's podcast project, but we would have to say.
Well, it's got to be like top secret. So.
Well, I'm just saying what it was relation to him. It would be Blacksmith doesn't go with it, so we'd have to say something like the Fabio Podcast Project. Well, I think he took our suggestion up of the shirt off, sword in hand, hammer in the other, and flames coming up.
Oh, he's finally going for
whipping his hair.
Yeah, he's going for the Fabio look, but it's top secret, so it'd be Fabio Powers instead of Austin Powers. It'd be Fabio Powers. You got this. Sounds like a original rock band. Well, Fabio Powers is kind of like the lead singer, I think. You got this. Rock and roll with it, dude. Rock and roll. All right, Miss Elizabeth.
I don't even know if Steve can play any instruments, but if he can play guitar, we could have so much fun. Tennessee equals gross.
We'll agree with that. I mean, nothing sucks like a big old orange.
Oh, there just went all of our Tennessee listeners.
No, we're sorry, guys. We love y'all. We love y'all. Did y'all know, just for the record, y'all have, and this is a little known fact, Knoxville has the largest tornado shelter in the United States.
Oh, Lord.
There's never any touchdowns there. It's called Neyland Stadium.
Oh, well, there sure wasn't in the big old horseshoe. Well, they were, but it was from the other team. Incoming. She pulled over the top. God bless you for your passion to respond to this podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Fabio Flaus. I love it. And he used to play guitar and bass and drums and round soundboards and soul merge. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
So he's got all these different backgrounds. I love it.
Fabio Powers. I'm telling you. You play the guitar, or however that goes, or whatever, and be this way.
We need to have a contest. If Steve were a rock star, who would he be? Of the rock stars we know, who would come the closest to being Steve the Celtic blacksmith? Of all, doesn't have to be anybody today. We'll have to put some thought into that. Who would be who's his alter ego?
Austin Powers, because he played in the '60s group. He was like, "Yeah, baby, yeah."
No, I don't see him being like that at all. It would have to be like a rock band, like Testament or something like that. I could just see him doing the whole whipping his hair, moshing and everything. But we'll have to put some thought into that.
I'll be honest with you, and I hate to say this because this is going to sound very cliche. You remember the original with the Arnold, Conan the Barbarian?
Yes.
When it started up, he was a little kid and they put him on that thing and he was having to push the wheel around and around and around, and he did it for like years, and then at the end of it, he's still up there pushing it and he raises his head up and it's Arnold and he's got all these muscles and everything. I could see Steve being like that.
He says he's the drummer from REO Speedwagon. Nobody knows. We think he's a rock star, but we're not sure. By the way, REO Speedwagon is no more. They played their last show.
Yes.
And Cronin will continue to go forward and play, but it can't be as REO. Maybe you could call it Cronin's Speedwagon or something. I don't know. Yeah, man. Take care.
Hey, Animal from the Muppets. That could be Steve. Animal. Celtic Smith. I'm just saying. I feel I
don't like where you're going with this because somebody's going to say that we're Bert and Ernie or something, man. It just is not going the right way. Or Beaker.
Dude, I'm feeling more like the chef from the Muppets right now. Bork, bork, bork. I'm just, dude.
You are absolutely right, Michael. The great Gary Rickrath. It's a sad ending of a guy who just couldn't beat the bottle. But what a player! And I liked him. But you're right. Happy Monday,
Happy Monday
from California. I think that was it Paula from California? The Bay Area. Am I right? Am I remembering right on that?
I don't know.
But happy Monday. I hope you're off. If you had to work, I hope it went well. You just getting off of work or just getting home because it'll be about 5:33 out there on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. But we hope you are. He was underrated. Go back and look at some of the live shows. There's actually quite a bit of footage of them live. Yeah, the Bay Area. And Paula likes a lot of music. She's got an eclectic taste, really knows how to navigate through those things. But Gary was, he was one of those guys that could play probably with anybody. And nobody, in the biz they knew, but nobody really paid attention. He didn't get the cred. But, there were so many bands because I think part of the problem is that because of all the shows that you could be on back then, bands had options. You had Midnight Snack and you had, Wolfman Jack, all the different things that was on. And, even Dick Clark had a lot of rock bands on the bandstand. There was a lot of things you could be on, and it was a popular time for a lot of those shows to be filmed. I remember watching a live show in Atlanta, GA for Billy Squire in the late 70s that they aired live, the show live on the local TV down there. Before they killed his career.
Yes. Another show. I mean, don't downplay Dr. Demento. That was a good show.
Dr.
They played some weird
Demento.
stuff, and I like Dr. Demento. You know, you
Maybe
remember
that
it?
should be your screen name, Dr. Demento.
Um,
Michael's nailing it. Terry Kath is another guy that a lot of people today don't really know of. If you go back and watch him, he's another guy that played with anybody. He didn't play second to nobody. And people think of Chicago, they think of the horns and they think of, love songs and the Cetera ears, later. Go back and watch the early stuff with Terry Kath. Wow. The two old men from the Muppets that were also.
that's who we are, Dave. That's who we are right there. We're the two old guys from the Muppets.
They were
That's who we
grouchy
are.
all the time.
Yeah, you're grouchy a lot. Well, I'm just saying.
So says you. So says you.
Well, I could be Kermit. No, I
Are we gonna
think
have to get it suits and put on a bow tie? Because I think they like bow ties.
Phenomena. That's stuck in my head now. One of the greatest songs ever done and performed was done on the Muppets.
Right, Michael. Sorry, am I right that Terry he committed suicide? Am I right on that? I hope I'm be wrong live here, but he had, or was he playing Russian roulette or something? Some say it was suicide, some say it was accident. I'm going by memory here, but he had some problems with, I think substances and stuff, but depression as well. And that guy could play. I went back and watched a lot of that stuff. If I played the drums, I'd been Animal. I could see that.
Do you know their names? The two grumpy old men who fight and laugh at mean things on their balcony from the Muppets. That's Statler and Waldorf.
Well, you're definitely Waldorf.
Absolutely. I could be Waldorf. You be Statler. Absolutely. We got this. This is going to rock there, Statler.
That might have to be on the background soon, just for a brief moment. We don't want to get copyrighted, but we might have
if y'all
to.
could find me some little toys of those guys that sit on the shelf behind me, I would sincerely love that. Statler and Waldorf. That's amazing. I wonder if they have posters for that.
It sounds like a Tim Walsh convention, And now coming on stage is Statler and Waldorf to tell you all the virtues of Tim Walsh.
They do. They do. They even got one with them that says haters gonna hate. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. Come on. I gotta get that blown up as high as I can there. Oh yeah. Come on. Yes. Let me see if I could put this up there. Quit it. Get off my screen. All right. Y'all are going to love this. This is amazing. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Look at that. Oh.
Which one's which?
Well, you got to be the one on the right. I don't know which one's which, though. Whichever one that is, that's the one you got to be. Hey, you look just like him. Take your hat off.
Why would I have to be that guy?
Take your hat off. Take your hat off.
I don't take my hat off for nobody.
I got him. I took your hat off.
They both have got no hair, and you have no hair, so.
Yeah, but you're taller than me, and you have dark hair. Yeah, and I'm completely bald. You still got the ring around the big head. I'm just saying, that's you.
I don't have a unibrow like that, dude. I mean, come on.
Take your glasses off so we can decide this. Come on. Take your glasses off.
It looks like Joe Biden, you know.
Take your glasses off.
Man.
I'm looking at the picture. Come on, take them off. Take off
I
the
know
hat and
you-
the glasses. Your eyes are kind of big too, kind of shaped
No.
funny.
No.
Oh, we got to find out which one's Statler and which one's Waldorf. I think that's Waldorf, though. I don't know for sure.
I think it is too.
Dude, that's freaking amazing.
Just remember this. What's your step?
You won.
You're talking to the guy that creates all the backgrounds.
Dude, we could have chick bait on here and be like, we could like do that kind of stuff. It would really weird her out. Hey, when's the show gonna start? And then you could be like, well, when we get some talent in here, or because they were always heckling the whole time. Oh, it was amazing. We could do it. We could.
You
do
sound like that you have watched them quite a bit.
I love the Muppets, dude. When I was growing up, I absolutely loved the Muppet Show. Oh my gosh. I still remember this episode when they had Christopher Reeves on there and Miss Piggy was going around looking for a Superman suit the whole show. Absolutely loved the Muppets. I still think one of the best Christmas albums ever made was the Muppet Christmas with John Denver. I still think that's one of the best Christmas albums ever made. Just John Denver and the Muppets Christmas. Hey, I'm
assuming you had a copy of that.
I used to. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. And Miss Piggy comes in and says, "What?" And Kermit's like, "It's figgy, Piggy. It's made with figs." Oh, okay. The Gonzo comes in. And bacon.
Could the Muppets be made nowadays? In the exact way, if they were trying to get the Muppets going today, could the Muppets be a show for kids?
No, and that's sad. The Muppets were absolutely great. I mean, absolutely. Look how much they've had to change Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, the Muppets wouldn't stand a chance. It would have to be switched up all around. And that is so sad, dude. I mean, I know kids had Barney and Baby Shark and all that, but the Muppets were classic.
Yeah.
And it was a labor of love for Jim Henson. The whole thing there, it was a whole new way to do things. Puppeteering went to a whole new level in that, and it was absolutely amazing. Now puppeteering's gone to the side now because of CGI, but my goodness, the skill and stuff that took. Oh my!
Could Fat Albert be made today?
No. It was fat shaming. They would call it fat shaming. There's no way they could make that. Yeah, you're right. Do what? They better not have. That's just silly and ridiculous. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And that just.
Could Mr. Rogers be made today?
No, and that's sad too.
But for what reason?
Because of the way that he would be characterized, the way that people would assume that he was, and they would be promoting him as non-heterosexual, either what is it where it has no sex, either gay, bi, non-gender, whatever. That's the way that he would be characterized. Never mind the fact that I believe he was a Methodist preacher and married and everything else, but that would all fall to the wayside because they could push him out as a certain way. So, and that's sad because Mr. Rogers was actually a very good show, and there was some puppeteering in that one too. You think Mr. Rogers could still be made today, or do you think he would get mischaracterized? You didn't pull over to talk to us again,
I
did you?
I kind of think he could, but they would obviously throw things in that would.
Yeah.
But the general, because he was very there was no controversy there.
Yes, there was.
What?
I don't know. There's no controversy for us, but that would be controversy in this day and age. The left side would go nuts, nuts, nuts over that.
Well, maybe at one point, but if they changed that, which they would, the guy coming out putting his, changing his sweater and talking to the little train people, and I think they could do it.
Okay. Maybe. Miss Elizabeth, you keep pulling over, you're never going to make it home. But you welcome to comment. We're glad you do.
We love it. You be careful out there.
Yeah.
But I do.
What do you think about what was the other one? Thomas, the railroad, the
Thomas
train,
the
or
train.
whatever. Yeah.
Well,
George Carlin.
Now.
Yeah. Well,
He's
George Carlin. Yeah, but
George Carlin could not do stand up today.
No, absolutely not.
He would be blasted.
He would be. And his whole thing was, yeah, it was. I don't
but
like
nor
to
could
listen,
many others.
Right.
Like Richard
I
Pryor.
don't like to listen to George Carlin talk or the language that he uses. But his whole thing is an exercise in language. That's where his comedy comes from a lot of times. And thinking outside the box and making people think about things differently. If it wasn't for all the foul language, I would actually enjoy his stand-up. But I can get over it. I have listened to some of his stuff and I liked it. And it always amazed me to see him come back in on Thomas the train and be the conductor. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, neither one of those two. Red Fox, another one.
Could the Smurfs be made today if it was a new project? Would the Smurfs get off the ground?
I never cared for the Smurfs. I can't believe they ever actually got off the ground to start with. Azrael and Gargamel, I mean, those are named after demons. I mean, come on. I just couldn't. Give me a break. You got one girl? Come on. Ugh. And she was made by the demons.
Understand. Yeah.
What about
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I mean,
oh yeah, that could be made. What about
so?
Yeah, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? No, I have not watched it yet. It looks like it would be funny though. Yeah, thank you. He's still talking about the Smurfs, I assume. Yeah. Have you watched it? Is it good? Yeah. It's got Chris Evans and The Rock in it. I mean, it's got to be at least somewhat good. Those two ought to play off each other well.
The Power Rangers.
Yes.
Made it still plays.
Yeah, it could be made today. But the Pink Ranger would be a guy.
Alf.
No, absolutely not. There's no way Alf could be made today. And Alf cannot be aired in this house because it scares the snot out of it.
Why do you think it couldn't be made today?
Number one, There would be too much left wing woke nonsense out there trying to figure out that it's what sex he was, and it'd be like, oh, he's a perfect example of binary, non gender, whatever. See, he's advanced alien. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't take off. They wouldn't, and it would be. They still had family values, taking care of each other and supporting each other, and it just never would. That's not what the majority of media is looking for. They're looking for controversy. They're looking to force people to think a different way. All in the Family. There's no way that could be made today either. Or the Jeffersons.
Yeah, the
Or
Jeffersons.
Sanford and Son. Or Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
And these are all great shows. It wasn't family oriented. See, that's ridiculous. Were you going to put out a. He was. If you're going to put out a show at Christmas time, it needs to be family oriented, for the kids. If it's not family oriented, then you should wait till summer or something. Alf was an illegal alien. He really was. And they actually talked about that. Oh, man. Yes, Alf was an illegal alien.
I don't remember on that. I don't know what I mean, because he came from
Melmac.
for that matter, could Mork and Mindy be made today?
Yes. Because remember when Mork laid the egg and he had a child, it was Jonathan Winters. So yes, it could definitely be made today.
Alf ate cats.
Yes, he did. They were delicious.
PETA would be against him.
That's why we can't air Alf in this house, because it makes Chuck nervous. Doesn't it, Chuck? Don't you worry. We're not going
I remember watching it, but I don't remember a lot about it, to be honest. But I did watch it. It's funny. I thought.
Yeah. You remember, could Gilligan's Island be made today?
It could, but not in the format that it was.
You think Gilligan and the Skipper would have been lovers?
I don't even think that. I think it would just be more diverse. They were all white people. Which a lot of shows were. But they would have to be some inclusion of other cultures,
Yeah. Fresh
But
Prince of Bel-Air.
to the rest of it, maybe they did. I mean, they probably would push that, but I just think it would be the diversity of culture.
What do you think about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Could it be made today?
It's another one of those that goes back to. I think some of they look at it as being condescending a little bit because of the way they set those families up. I just think that it would probably be some kickback from some segments of the culture. Maybe it might make it though. I mean, they're very talented and funny as funny.
Michael, you're killing me. Marianne would be played by a fat white guy. Come on. In a tube top.
No. Mary Ann is AOC.
And Ginger would be Nancy Pelosi.
No, Ginger is Taylor Swift. You know it's true. Rich and famous, and
no. I think Ginger would be Ed Sheeran.
But hey, on the flip side, Gilligan would be Travis Kelce.
They're never going to get off that island.
I have no idea on the Professor and Mr. Howell, Mr. and Mrs. Howell. Maybe Mrs. Howell is Nancy Pelosi.
And Mr. Howell would be Tim Walsh. Tim Walz and Nancy Pelosi would be Mr. and Mrs. Howell. And the professor would be
Pete Buttigieg.
Is it Buttigieg or Buttigieg? I can't ever get it right.
I'm sure I pronounce it wrong all the time. I've heard it different ways. That's the problem I have.
I think Buttigieg is very
on national
apt.
network say his name wrong. I'm sure half the time.
I'm sure Buttigieg is a very apt name for him, but Buttigieg, I can't believe you managed to keep me on the show this long anyway.
Well, we're almost there.
Okay.
You made it
we're almost there. We're all right. Let's see. What's some of the other golden oldies that could never be made today? Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters. Could that show be made today?
Not in that format.
It shouldn't have been made then.
What? I like that show.
Oh, figures.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. She was the only one with any talent.
What about
Louise Mandrell have one hit. What?
What about the Mod Squad? That's pretty far back. What, 70, somewhere in there?
No.
Kind of out, kind of out front for its time.
Yeah, it was.
So I think possibly the Mod Squad could.
Maybe. What about Chips? Do.
I think so.
They did make a movie not too long ago for Chips. It was a comedy, but
I think Emergency could be made today. I think
it is being made.
Well, is it? I don't keep up with new shows. But,
I was out there. I was thinking back.
Now, I'll tell you a show that probably, I don't know. Maybe. How about Soap?
Maybe. They'd have to change it around.
About Three's Company?
Definitely. What about Taxi?
Could be made today.
Huh?
Michael could play Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Oh, please let me be Balky.
The all-time best show that I absolutely could watch it 1,000 times in a row and laugh exactly the same way was when Jim went to get his driver's license, and he asked what the yellow light meant, and what's his name, Alex, slow down. What does man? That scene kills me, man. I don't know how they held it together for that.
I don't either, dude.
Man, that scene is a killer, man. My mom, talking about my mom, she loved Taxi. Of all things, I don't know why, but she loved it, and she would roll when that played. Man, we'd watch reruns of it. My mom loved that scene. He says slow down again, and he goes real slow. Jim made that show.
Yes. What about WKRP in Cincinnati?
It'd absolutely be made, but it would be radically different, obviously.
I don't think it'd be nowhere near as good, though.
It wouldn't be as good. They wouldn't have the big fat white guys, the station manager. That wouldn't happen.
And they would never do the turkey bombing.
No. Les Nessman would probably be okay. They'd probably be okay with Les Nessman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the characters, I think they would be, but probably, the dude, Gary, whatever, he was playing the programming director. I don't think he would be in his role, and it would be somebody else. So.
Okay, I'm going to jump way back for one.
All right.
It's very popular. I mean, very popular. I actually want to jump back to them. I'm going to start with Little House on the Prairie. Could that be made today?
It's popular to go back and do shows in ages gone by. I just think that the premise would be different. It would be made, but it would be so different we wouldn't like it. Because if you think about the town, and this is a problem that a lot of 70s shows have, the interactions were very infrequent for African American and much less anybody else characters. And it was a town of, it was a town of white people. I mean, it wouldn't be made that way. And hey, I believe that was made. It was supposed to be fictional Minnesota, right? Which is Tim Wall's country. So it would be different. It would be different.
One more show. It's 9:00. One more show. The Waltons.
And not in that format.
What would be changed? I know they would have some interracial stuff in there.
They would. And actually, nowadays, the actual real person that made up the character Jim Bob would actually be promoted today. They didn't go true to form with the real life character for him in the 70s. Yeah. They would today, because I'd always heard he was gay. That's what I've read. So they actually would play that up. They would probably show, the dad would probably be an alcoholic.
Him and the grandpa would be out there at the still getting soused.
Well, they wanted to make that show a little bit more edgy that way to show something, but the mom, the real life mom, would not allow it, and that's why the house wasn't any messier. She took that personal. But a true backstory to that is Ralph Waite. Welcome Back, Kotter would be an interesting discussion, but Ralph Waite was an alcoholic at the time, and he got clean while they were filming that show. He said he felt an obligation to those kids to be a proper representative as a dad to them. And I think that's a tremendous story.
How amazing is that? That's a great story.
And became a preacher later on in life. I think an Episcopalian or something like that. But he turned his life around. I mean, he quit drinking.
Michael, I think they could make it, but like Dave's been saying, it would take a lot of changes. But yeah, Walking Back, Kotter would be a good one.
But that type of character from that area hasn't changed a lot. Probably
no.
They could probably make that, but they would introduce other things. Obviously, they would put the today's spin on it. But the characters themselves would probably stand up.
Yeah. Wow.
I could see you being the dude that said, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh." What was his name? I can't think of his name.
I would never go, ooh, 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 ooh. Not to answer a question. Dude, come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. I might do it now just so I can get on you a little bit, but no. Oh, I'm still worked up, dude. Well, we've got my brain ticking here. But look, it's 9:02. I have made it, Dave. I made it.
Yeah, you answered all the questions, Joe. Way to go.
That's why you the Incredible Bulk. Right there. That's why you the Incredible Bulk. That's not even nice.
Sorry. I've been waiting on that one. I thought he could make it. He could make it. Then you did it, Joe. Good for you. I love you, man.
I love you too.
Thanks for hanging in there. It was a good discussion tonight. I like all the chat, and I like the discussion about it. And we're just scratching the surface. There's a lot of shows movies that we could talk about, but it's interesting. It really is. I come from a different time, and it was a fun time. And some of those shows that we watched could not have been made in the 40s and 50s.
No,
couldn't have been.
No, because you'd had been in separate beds. Like I Dream of Jeannie.
Think of the Beaver. What was that show?
Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, I almost said Beavis and Butthead.
My Three Sons.
Yeah, they were all straight laced. The Penny Loafers.
Yeah.
Funny. I did enjoy the shows, but that could never be.
We'll have to bring up Mr. Ed another day.
Mr. Ed. Oh, Peter wasn't like that.
No.
What about all the dog shows and movies? You see a few of those, but it's that was big. Rin Tin Tin and Lassie and Benji, what was that?
Yeah, Benji,
Yeah,
the Love Bug,
love,
Herbie the Love Bug. That was
which took on a whole different meaning later.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, let's throw Beavis and Butthead out there. You mentioned them. Could that be made today?
Uh, I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. But you know what is funny? That is where the Hank Hill character came from uh, King of the Hill.
The reason that popped in my head is I saw this, and I'm sure it was a skit from Saturday Night Live. I'm not sure, where the lady is interviewing the guy about AI, and behind her is a guy that looks just like. You remember that? I never saw that till today.
Who was that? The guy behind you looks just like Butthead or Beavis. And she's like, well, get him to move. And then another guy takes his place and it looks just like Beavis. I laughed. I almost peed on myself. Oh my gosh. Miss Elizabeth, if you haven't seen that skit from Saturday Night Live, you need to watch that. Oh
That
my
scene is
gosh.
funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. The lady who's playing the reporter, interviewer, she loses it, man. That makes that whole thing. She can't look at that dude. That second guy, she looked at him and lost it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was absolutely amazing. Now, hey, you didn't like Beavis and Butthead. I will admit, way back in the day, I did watch Beavis and Beathead. But that's where Hank Hill came from King of the Hill. And I liked King of the Hill. I thought it was funny. Some of the humor and stuff, bunch of old rednecks sitting in the backyard and stuff. You have some. Well, that gummit, Elizabeth, I didn't know that you had seen it. But now I do. And we're going to do some cooking with some propane and propane accessories. Sorry, I liked Hank Hill.
Oh, man.
Oh, that gummit, Bobby. What in the world? Ladybird. That was his dog's name. I like me some King of the Hill.
I haven't seen that in years. Years.
They were talking about bringing it back. That would be amazing too. But all right, guys, we've made it, and it's time for me to go lay down. King of the Hill, I like. See. Oh, now that I bet you're home now. So now that you're home, we're going to get off the air. We couldn't get off there while you were driving. No, that'd just been too nice. We got to wait till you get home. Then we're going to get off there. It's Dave's fault. It's Dave's fault, not mine. Dave.
Well, we're not late. We did come in a little late because of issues that I had here, but I will be on tomorrow with programming.
I don't know.
I'm off tomorrow. So stay tuned.
Yeah, well, we got to come on tomorrow night for the New Year's Eve bash. Right?
Yeah.
We got to bring in the New Year.
I will be on earlier. I'm not sure.
Okay.
The New Year.
I got stuff going on tomorrow during the day. I don't be on, but my schedule's fixing to free up. So, yay.
Just do it like that, like you did on the front porch. I love that look. Yeah. With your mouth open. That was. That's it. That's it. I love it.
I'm just years away from being that goofy looking guy on the Goonies.
The Goonies.
Oh, I like the Goonies. All right. Well, guys, glad y'all here. We will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're going to have our bring in the New Year thing. We're going to talk about things old and new, some big things that's happened in the past year, and things we're going to look forward to next year. And we're going to lay it all out there. What do you think, Dave? We can do that?
We can do it.
And y'all have your comments and stuff ready for things that happened in the last year to you. It could be personal, it could be nationwide, whatever, and things that you're looking forward to for yourself or nationwide. So let's bring in the new year. Let's remember and look forward.
Throw out 2024 with the dishwater, as they say, and just go kicking and screaming into 2025. Here we are.
That's right. That's right. Joe Biden drag him right up to that January 20 and throw him at the dishwasher. I'm sorry. Love you, brother. Hey, everybody out there that's following, that's going to tune into this later, y'all make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Everybody's watching now. If you would, like, follow, and subscribe, and we would greatly appreciate it. Remember, we're trying to get to that 50,000 mark by Memorial Day. And thank y'all for everybody that's helped us get to the 20,000 mark. We appreciate it. So, like, follow, subscribe, and we appreciate it. And we love you. And God bless all of y'all.
Salute.
Okay? Salute. Good night, guys.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast.